What's good, guys? M.V.K here back again. How's everybody doing out there? Wanted to bring this up because it came out today, and some really special news, especially for any geeks out there that never, ever got to read the 2003 crossover JLA Avengers. It's going back into reprint. Going back into reprint. Let that sink in. It's going back into reprint, and it's coming out in March. It's going to be also a part of the Heroes Initiative, which was started and founded by George Pérez. Now, this is also in honor of George Pérez because he, what's going on with George Pérez, it's really sad. What I do love about what George Pérez is doing is he's living out his days with his friends and family and the love of comic books. I really enjoy that. So basically, it's going back to reprint. Marvel and DC are finally doing something in cooperation again. Something we have not seen in a long, long time. And for me, that is... It's very hit or miss with me. And there's a reason for that, and I will explain that. So they said that they're going to be... The problem with this is the reprint, there will only be 7,000 prints. So it's going to be limited. And there's going to be a lot of comic places and distributors like Diamond that are going to help with us. And it makes me wonder if my comic store, Midtown Comics, is going to be a part of it. And if it is, then that's great. But for me, it's very hit and miss because of the fact that it's taking a man's illness from the two of the biggest comic companies in the world to finally come back together and do something for not just one of the fans, but also for a man who's worked for both companies and has had an extremely great career. And that's sad. And that right there is what bothers me about it. As great as it is, because at the end of the day, I have the original run 4-part issues, but I am going to get this because of the fact that supporting George Pérez. But it is sad that it's taking a man's illness to finally come back together. There have been many times we fans have been saying, Marvel and DC needs to do crossovers again. It would be cool to see them have this character mix up with this character. We've been saying that for a long time, and I've read a lot of different, writers have told me personally, and I've read articles where writers have said they had ideas for a second crossover between Batman and Daredevil, and as soon as they pitched it, Joe Quesada and Dan Didio, I was about to call him Dildo, said no. Egos involved. And yes, competition is good for business. I get that. But they have to also remember that we are their suppliers of their income. As a fan, I feel that it's very important for us as fans to have that. We see other comic companies do crossovers, but Marvel and DC, no, we can't do that. You're the enemy. And you wonder why there's still this so-called rivalry, this stupid rivalry between Marvel and DC. Even just fans of the companies. That's why I always say, people ask me all the time, Chris, are you a Marvel fan or a DC fan? I'm Omni. I like it all. Even though my favorite hero is Spider-Man, I love it all. You'll never get me. You'll never hear me say I hate DC or I will never read anything DC, because you won't hear me say that. I'm not Joe Quesada, who says you can't like both. You can't like the other company. If you no, you can like it. But in honor of George Perez, yes, this is I respect that and I will support this. But I just don't like how it's being executed, that it's being executed because of a man's illness. I can't. I can't with that. Just saying. Anyway, guys. I hope you take this with some advice and take this as a means of like, okay, I can see your point, Chris. If you can't, that's fine. It's not like I'm not going to support it, but the fact of the matter is, yeah, this is good stuff. You know, it is good for all those who never got to read JLA and the Avengers crossover. Yeah, you're going to get to read it. You're going to finally get to read it if you support it. It hasn't been in reprint since I think Disney brought Marvel. That's how long it's been. So it's going to be really interesting. It's going to be good for people who've never read it. I'm going to support it because of who it's mainly going towards, not because of the whole realm of, oh, it's a Marvel DC, they're working together again. No, it's more about George Perez, in honor of George Perez. Now, guys, thank you for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you took some out of it. Not hating on it, but I just don't like how it's been executed. Please leave your comments in the section down below. Don't forget, please give this a like if you like. I appreciate that as well. Don't forget, guys, I got merchandise in the link down below, and the Patreon is up. The link in the description down below. Check it out. You may like something in the Patreon, and there are 5 tiers. Working on a 6th and final one. 5 tiers so far. I have now, my Patreon members are starting to grow, which is, I'm happy. And for all those who have joined the Patreon as well, and you are legends. Thank you. And for that, guys, you guys take care. And this is my very kid saying peace, one love, stay tuned, keep it real as always. Deuces.